Recording right here.
Boom! Look at that. That's so cool.
I don't know. Just beep.
Beep, 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 boop, boop, boop.
So, what is this?
What? This is my shirt, man.
Where did you get that?
My mother made this shirt.
She made that shirt.
My mom made it for me.
Is that out of sheets?
No, dude, it's out of awesomeness.
What characters are they?
Well,
Hulk?
they're. I think that there are copyright-free characters that were made for this fabric.
Interesting.
You know, but they obviously this is obviously supposed to be Hulk, and that's obviously that. You know that.
Right.
That I forgot what those guys were called, X-Gen or whatever, Gen X or whatever. You know, but yeah, it's my shirt my mom made for me. I love it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so make fun of it now, jerk. My mom made it for me.
Made me feel bad.
I know. That was the point.
You're listening to Articulate with your hosts, Kevin Kramer and Shawn Gillespie, your go-to guys for art tips, techniques, and general artist ramblings. Presented by drawingandcoloring.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Articulate, the podcast, the show. Sorry.
The show. We are a show.
The show where we talk about everything art.
Kind of a podcast.
We have a podcast undertone.
All right.
I'm Kevin Kramer. This is
Shawn Gillespie.
And today's topic is...
Today is Shawn's failure.
Shawn's failure and book marketing.
All right. So I've mentioned this in previous shows. I like to work on my art.
Right. As most artists do.
I hate to market it, and I'm no good at it. I don't like dealing with it. I don't like thinking about it. The thought of money and just stuff just makes me like, oh, I don't want to think about that right now.
It gets you like the...
I get stressed.
The Matrix thing.
It does. And if you mention taxes to me, like we've got this buddy Shane, and every time I talk to him now, he talks about taxes, and I'm like, "Why are you talking to me about taxes?" I get so stressed.
You slap him in the face.
It makes me so mad. So, I recently
yes. What do you got here?
I recently made this children's book, right? Mm-hmm. And it's I ended up accidentally creating my own publishing company. I didn't mean to do it.
Accidentally?
I did.
Wow.
It started off as like I was just going to self-publish, and then it was like, oh, but you need to have your own ISBN number. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll get an ISBN number. So I bought a bunch of ISBN numbers, and it's like, oh, but you need to protect yourself against lawsuits, so you got to create an LLC. And I'm like, okay, so I created an LLC.
Right.
And by the time you've got an LLC and your own ISBN numbers, you're basically created a publishing house.
Right.
And so that's what I've done. So I had this old book that I wrote like back in 2004. 2007, it says, but it was probably 2005.
You started in 5.
Yeah, I probably did it all in 5 and just forgot what year and marked it in 2007. So, but it just sat on the computer, the metaphorical shelf, sat on the shelf for 7 years.
The digital shelf.
Right, the digital shelf. So I went ahead and published that at the same time as this one. And my thinking was that it would get out there, and it's available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com, and it's all through the publisher, the Shawno, right?
Right.
Because, dude, I'm the Shawno.
Right here.
Right? Looking at the Shawno.
Shirt clearly says that.
Not just the Shawno. This is me, folks. This is the Shawno.
This is.
Right. Y'all been talking to the Shawno for months.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, they don't talk back as much as they should. You should be writing us.
Right.
Write the Shawno.
Leave comments.
Right. So anyway. So I put it all out there, man, and my thinking was that it would be like new on Amazon and new and noteworthy.
Be on Oprah.
Not instantly.
Not instantly, of course.
Not instantly, but if she wanted to make a comeback and go back on TV just to interview me.
But at least Dr. Phil.
Right. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. So anyway, you fantasize about crap like that. Not Dr. Phil, because,
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the South. Everybody in the South has an Uncle Phil.
Exactly.
Who's just like him and has good common Southern sense.
Right.
I don't need Dr. Phil.
You need to get your books.
Right. You need to get your books out there.
You need to do some
What are
marketing.
you doing sitting on the couch with Kevin?
What do you think is going to happen when you make the book?
Right. What were you thinking?
It's going to fly off the shelves with
right.
no work.
It's not going to fly off by itself. No. Anyway, but that was kind of my hope, is that it just, once it was out there, if you build it, they will come.
Not the case.
They didn't come.
No one comes.
My
with
mom
that.
bought some, and that was it.
That's good to have that initial base of people.
Well, I mean, you get this feeling of accomplishment, and that's great. But my hope, I knew that I wasn't going to make a lot, but my hope was that it would make up for like a mural or two.
Right.
And typically with a mural job, I'll get a little bit. A little bit of money. Let's not talk any money, but I get a little bit.
Yeah.
So my hope was that this would make up for a mural too, because it's been a little slow lately.
Okay.
So anyway, and that's where we are. It instantly got buried because there's so many people putting great quality stuff out there, which is awesome. Because the internet has really made, gets given everybody a voice.
Right. Democratized it.
It has, and that's wonderful. I'm not going to knock that. Not so wonderful for me in this instance,
right?
But wonderful for the world, right? But the problem is that you instantly get buried. So I created a web page.
Right.
Well, I created. My buddy Shane created a web page for me.
We had one created.
One was created by Velvet Ant Designs, in case you're looking for a great web page.
Shameless
plug. Right, but no, Shane, Shane, you've known him for years. That dude he's top notch. He knows what he's doing. So anyway, he created me an awesome web page, and it's got links through it, and you can preview the book and all that. And then I created the Facebook authors page, right? Got all my friends to like it. And I found that out of 60 likes you get when you publish a book, 1 or 2 people will buy it. It's it's not, 60 likes does not mean 60 books sold.
No, it does not.
You would think
it means
that it would.
Good job,
It means
man.
good job doing that. I'm going to think about you.
Good job,
Right.
you living your dreams.
I'm going to think about that book you did that time.
That's what that means, yeah.
I'm going to think about it. What's weird is these books are not expensive. They're $12 each.
Right.
People will spend that on a meal. People will easily spend twice that on a meal before a meal. They'd rather feed their stomach than feed their soul, Kevin.
That's true.
Right. So this is where you come in. Oh, marketing guru, because you love the marketing. I hate the marketing. Bum. So this is our case study where Kevin is going to give me recommendations on how to get my work out there.
Yes.
And also going to be recommendations to you, obviously, and to get your work out there. So this is going to help us all, man.
Gonna lift it up.
Right. This helps us all, dude. This helps us all. So, and then I'm going to try to follow his advice for a month or 2 or 3, we're going to see how long it takes.
Or a year, whatever.
Or a year, however long. And then we're going to revisit this. Well, let's give it, how long? Like 4 months, right?
Let's give it
3 months?
3, just for some initial improvement. What do you want to, let's set a goal for what? A sale, 5 sales that you don't know the people?
Yeah, 5 sales, because I don't think I've ever had, I've had a sale where I don't know the people, but they were all like friends of my mom.
Right.
What I'd like is a sale where they're not affiliated
with anybody.
With somebody I know. I would like stranger sales.
Right.
And so here's my criteria, though. I've already lost a lot of money because creating a LLC and all that stuff costs money.
Right.
So I can't advertise on television. I can't pay for advertising.
Right.
So that's part of our limit.
And that right there, I think, is a good learning point. Well, I don't know what specifically you used. What site did you use to publish those? To get those published?
So
Cafe Press?
Yeah, no, not Cafe Press. Cafe Press does merchandise mainly, like shirts, T-shirts, and shoes, things like that. They are doing my merch. If I can ever get my account worked out with them, I was having a lot of trouble. Took like 2 months. Still hasn't been fixed. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But I did all these through CreateSpace.
Now,
they only do paperback, which is kind of a bummer because I feel like a lot of people, when it's new, especially, want hardback. But they're print on demand, so I don't have like inventory. That was part of my thing.
Did you need the ISBN in LLC to use them?
No, you can do it using their ISBN, and they're the publishers, so you can do that.
Okay,
but I just didn't want to. I want to be the publisher.
Right.
I don't know why. Because I like to control things. I'm a control freak.
That right there. That's the problem.
That's the problem?
But right there, that could have saved you. That right there, you could have saved money just by not
doing
those. Because you don't really need the LLC right now.
Well, the people on the internet said I did. I don't remember what their reasoning was for it exactly.
The LLC?
Yeah, they said error on that page. There's these people. Ignore that. Turn the cameras off. Turn them off.
Still a good book.
It's still fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with these books.
But honestly, if you're not selling anything at the moment, you're still kind of testing the waters, getting things going. I know. But you don't need to invest all that money.
Yeah, and that, obviously I jumped the gun a little bit, but I was also planning for future books. Like I'm already working on a third one and a fourth one, so and
that's fine.
Right. So I was thinking long term, but it meant a lot of short term investment for me.
But what might also just be a good alternative is what I did.
What's that?
I went down to the courthouse locally.
Down to the courthouse.
And registered the business for $20.
Well, the point of the LLC is if you get sued. So, like, if somebody else is like, this book's about a cricket who's trying to find his own sound, right?
Right.
And if somebody is like, I already thought about a book about a cricket trying to find his sound, I'm going to sue you. And then they sue me. The LLC protects your private assets from your business assets. And that's the only reason to do that, is just in case of lawsuit.
Right.
Otherwise, like you as a sole proprietor, if you got sued, they would get your real money as opposed to just your business money. And right now, I ain't got any business money, so they wouldn't get very much.
Right, but what I'm saying is you probably would have, like, we're in Austin.
Yeah.
Starting more locally with getting it out to people.
Surprisingly difficult.
Well,
I did. Okay, so I went to
what did you do?
A bookstore. All right, I won't name the bookstore.
All right,
but it's one of the coolest ones in Austin. But I won't name it. But it's privately owned and one of the largest privately owned bookstores in the world. But I won't name which one it is. But anyway, so if you live in Austin, you already know.
Exactly.
But I went and talked to them, and they do a consignment program for books, right? But right. You give them 6 books, a maximum of 6 books.
Okay.
And you pay $25 per book, and then they take 55% of the sales of the books.
Right.
Problem is, each of these books cost about $5 to print.
Right.
Sell it for $11. So if I give them 6 of them, and I'm already paying $25, then I could lose money.
Right.
Or I could make like $10 max. And there's no point in doing that.
Right.
So I've been having trouble with this.
Okay.
But so my thinking is that the key is going to be to get it out to the people on the internet. That's my thinking.
Well, there is definitely lower overhead with that.
So I'm thinking about doing a YouTube video of me reading the book like I'm Christopher Walken. I'm going to try that. And be like, well, I'm the cricket. He loved to hop and chirp. He hopped and chirped and danced. It's crazy.
Okay.
Wow! He napped into the steakhouse with honky tonk, stuff like that. Or maybe like read it like Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah.
Be like, and Jack the cricket, and all of the crickets, he loved to hop and chirp and sing.
Maybe hold off on those ideas.
Really? I'm gonna go with them. I'm going with that. That's gold. Reading like Harry Carrot.
Well, let's see. Okay, so what do you have up right now? You have a website for this book.
Yep.
And you have a website for this book separately?
Well, they're all on the same website, but they've got their own launch pages, each one.
Okay. Now, the easiest thing to do would be to just drive traffic to these pages, right?
Right. Yeah, I need to get people to go to those pages or to just go to Amazon to buy the pages or to buy the books.
But when you go to those pages, you can click on it and then it takes you to the Amazon.
Well, it takes you to create space, but it says that it's available on Amazon. It doesn't take you to Amazon because I don't get quite as much money if you buy it through Amazon versus... Yeah.
Okay. Well, the thing about Amazon is... It's a huge marketplace. Huge. Everybody's going there.
I got buried
specifically to buy.
Right.
But everybody goes to Amazon. They're not going to browse and look.
They're not a lot of shoppers. That's what I'm finding.
All shoppers.
Well, they're shoppers, but they're not browsing. They're not not window shopping.
Right.
They already know what they want. They're going there to buy it.
And they're going there for something they want.
Right. Unless it's like in a special deals or it's cool or heard on iTunes and things like that.
Now, the way you could promote this is to just send more people to those links. That's really all you got to do.
All right, but how do I get to those people? That's the part I'm having trouble with.
How you get to
obviously I'm going to create some YouTube videos. I'm still going to do it even though you just told me not to because I love that idea.
The YouTube videos are good.
Okay.
I'm not saying, but to create those videos and then link to the book or link to one of those pages.
Right.
So you create the YouTube video, you put some keywords in it, you link to that, and then anybody that watches that, they'll see it. If they're interested, they'll click it, and they'll go over.
So outside of YouTube, because that's a good idea. So obviously I'll create the links in. But so outside of YouTube, what else? How else do I get people to go to my site? And this would if you have a portfolio site or something like that, and you're selling prints of your artwork. How do you generate traffic beyond just getting out there in the streets? Now, that actually might be easier for just a print artist or something to get out there in the street and hand out cards and be like, hey, this is the type of art I create. You can go to this webpage for my merchandise with these designs on it. Yeah. But
I mean, there's different things. You can do booths, but those cost probably $500 at different shows. The easiest thing would be to... And
part of the problem, too, is these are children's books, obviously.
Right.
Now, if these were comic books, I could go to Comic-Cons and, things like that. And those people are... I feel like
they're looking
with
for
comic
stuff.
books, they're more open to a independently published work. Whereas, and also, they're used to paperback.
Right.
Well, yeah, hardback, or, children's books, they're used to hardback. They've never heard of you. Why would they buy your book when they could buy Shel Silverstein right there, Right. So it's a harder market to tap into. Now, they do have conventions and things like that, but I feel like it's mainly agents and things going to those conventions more than... I've never heard of somebody who's like, I'm going to go to the children's book convention to see if I can pick up some nice independent books for my child. Well, that doesn't happen, ever.
Well, one thing might be good, and it's... What specific market does this type appeal to?
Or children.
Right, but is it who is the target market? Is it the parents? Is it specifically?
Well, yeah. So this one definitely the parents, and I mean, it's
schools,
right. Well, that would be cool to kind of market it for school. Yeah, this one's definitely more for the kids. They just enjoy it. Now, this one is all about getting older and how as you get older, you turn into a monkey, and the other guys turn into monkeys and girls turn into squirrels.
Right.
So it's a joke about getting older that kids may not get so much as adults. So it's a good one just for birthday presents.
Right.
So I was thinking about kind of marketing that as well. It's just a birthday thing.
Yeah. Well, there's this. My aunt actually has a book where I think it's called something about a tea party.
You don't know your aunt's book's title?
I'll have to look it up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it's almost like I think she probably used one of the same publishers. It's the same thing, but she goes to the church events because she's religion. She's religious.
Church.
And she goes to those events. She gets all the different things. She gets people to buy them that way. Yeah. Through the community. It's one thing I've noticed.
I live in a cave.
That's one thing. One thing that I've come to realize more and more is an online business is great. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have anything offline...
My life is an empty shell.
It's not being amplified.
Right.
Online.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I would start... in your own backyard, somewhere here.
I don't have a backyard.
I know. You got a side
patio.
Yard. You got a patio. But...
and a fence.
Go to more bookstores. See, the smaller ones, independent ones.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go down South Congress and try that. So you're saying start locally and build out. So you're saying internet... too big. The world's too big for you, son. You need to start smaller.
It's not, but it's easier to amplify something that's already been started.
And maybe I could get a smaller place where they don't have an established consignment system, and they'll just let me put it in, or maybe let me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind sharing the percent of the profits with them if I didn't have to pay a handling fee on top of that. It's that handling fee that takes out any money.
Another good thing, if you want to do it on the internet, like you said, YouTube. That's a good idea, because that's just going to drive free traffic to your pages. You might get a few sales here and there.
All right.
The other thing would be Facebook groups.
Okay. Well, I've got the Facebook page.
Right,
but I don't have a group on it.
But no. Go search for Facebook groups of people that write books or people that are just in kind of the kids book community and connect with them. Just like I'm sure they have connections with other things. They have connections with people that are bigger publishers that already have books sold. Facebook, you just go search in that little bar that you probably ignore all the time.
I've never even done this.
You go up there, you can search for people that like Shel Silverstein that are above 40. It's that specific. You can get very granular with the searches, and you can find groups of people that'll probably be able to help you promote it too.
All right. I'm going to try that. So we're going to try Facebook groups. YouTube videos. With links.
Possibly you just reading it with links. Or some kind of something.
Well, I'm going to,
You got to create value with the videos.
I must show my value as a man.
Yes. And what was local bookstores and other people around in the community.
Okay, start locally. All right, so those are the 4 things we're going to try.
Well, what was the fourth?
Oh, we had Facebook groups. YouTube videos. Locally. And then there was another one.
I had 3.
All right, I can't count. 3.
But yes, those would be where I would start.
All right, what about competitions? Because we talk about competitions a lot, and there are children's book competitions that I've thought about doing. Problem is, they're about $80 per book per entry. And if you don't win, nobody has ever heard of you, and you're out $80.
Right.
So it's give and take.
Well, how about this? We'll send a free copy of the new book to whoever leaves the comment below that is the most interesting.
The most interesting? The best comment? The best recommendation?
The best...
Let's do that.
There you go.
Send us your best recommendation. Now, and bear in mind that all 4... That's 4 now. Now we did the competitions. Right. So now it's definitely 4. But so all 4 of these are things that you can do in your own art. Whether it's books or whether it's, paintings or whatever. Hopefully it's not books because it's already an oversaturated market. And you need to get out of my market. Get out! Get out of my market! No, I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. It's okay.
But,
it's okay.
Yes.
All right, so so do all 4 of those. But leave a comment, and whoever has the best comment for a recommendation that we can do, other than those 4 things on how to get the work out there, we will send you, or I will probably send you, because this guy's not going to mail anything.
Well, you have the books.
I will send you
a copy of That's the Ticket Cricket.
That's the Ticket Cricket, which is the better of the 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell, I might send you a copy of both. If you also promise to tell your friends.
There you go.
Yeah.
So those are that's the plan for your promotion.
All right, so I'm going to try those 4 things. We're going to revisit it in a few months. I will give it at least 2 months. At least 2, maybe up to 4.
Yeah, you gotta hit the ground. You gotta run.
We hit the ground running. We're going to give it a little while.
Going.
And then we're going to revisit this. We're going to see how it went, and we're going to find out what that recommendation was on the person that we send the book to.
Right.
And then we're going to check it out, and we'll see how it worked, whether it worked at all, whether it's a waste of time, whether I'm a failure, or whether the actual paradigm failed. What failed? Was it the plan, or was it the man? And we're going to find out.
And we'll tweak it along as we go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, I guess that's where we'll end this one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on that corner over there. And we'll see you on iTunes, on YouTube, anywhere that you go.
Anywhere you can find us is where we will see you.
Go to articulatepodcast.com, and we'll see you next week. Right here. Later.
You've been listening to Articulate with Kevin and Shawn. Subscribe on iTunes or check them out on drawingandcoloring.com. Always reminding you to keep it simple.